My name is Caitlin.
And I'm Steph.
And we are a married lesbian couple from Vancouver, Canada. This is our son, Theo. So today we figured we would tell you the story of how we met.
Cheers.
Cheers. We've been together for 9 years now. Mm-hmm. So we met a long time ago. So the details might be fuzzy.
We'll see if we can remember this.
We'll see how much we can recall. These things happened a long time ago.
I had decided to go to culinary school, and then after that I went on a 4-month solo South America trip.
She was pretty cool in 2010.
Was?
I mean, you still are, but like 2010 was a good year for you.
It was a good year.
Yeah.
So I came back to Vancouver and thought, I'm kind of on a roll with this whole going out of my comfort zone thing. So I'm just going to go start taking dance classes because, what else is there to do?
I love that. It was something that you always wanted to do, and you were just like, let's go for it.
Yeah, I just thought I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I started taking dance classes at a studio. Drop-in classes. I decided to take some other styles that I wasn't as comfortable with, like ballet and jazz, because I thought it would be fun.
So I was an instructor at that studio. So Steph's background is all in sports and athletics. My background is all in dance and the performing arts. So I was a freelance performer, and I was also teaching dance at a few different studios in the city at that time. And one of the studios I was teaching at was a studio that Steph ended up going to. I remember the very first time that I saw you. I went into work because I was teaching the class after the class that you were taking, and you were taking a hip hop class, and I walked in and was like getting set up, but like caught the end of the class, and I don't know why, I was just like completely drawn to you. And it was just like this cute little brunette like in the front. I think you were wearing like a yellow t-shirt or something. Sweatpants. And just, I don't know, I was just like drawn to her immediately. And obviously like didn't think much of it at the time, but just like knew like I was like captivated by this person.
Meanwhile, while she's watching me in this hip-hop class, out of the corner of my eye, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, the most beautiful person I've ever seen just walked in the room, and I better get this choreography to make it look good.
I was there a lot, picking up other classes and teaching quite a bit, and so I ended up substitute teaching.
It was a ballet class.
Yeah, subbing a class that you took.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my regular class. And that was the first time that we like didn't meet, but we were like in the,
it was an excuse to talk. So I went up and just asked her if you go by Caitlin or Katie.
Right. What did I say?
Most people call you Caitlin, but your friends call you Katie. And I said, cool, I'm gonna call you Katie.
Right. So yeah, I think in the beginning we were like seeing each other around the studio, and you were definitely finding like excuses to talk to me, and we were getting like friendly, but it was such a I don't know, it was a different kind of situation, so it wasn't like we were really flirting or like showing our interest, because like there were a lot of women at that studio that that we were both like becoming friends with, so there was no indication yet that we were like interested beyond that. I don't know, this went on for weeks at least, right? Yeah. I think we were chatting and like being friendly, and then somehow we were talking after class once about like the styles of dance that I taught and like what classes you were taking and stuff, because I was teaching like jazz and ballet, and that's always kind of been like my realm. But you were taking a lot of hip hop classes, and that's something that I've never really done.
My comfort zone. You suggested that I take your sexy stilettos class.
Right.
So I laughed because that is definitely not my comfort zone.
Right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I taught jazz and ballet, and I taught like a Pussycat Dolls style class. So like a sort of like sexy burlesque jazz class, which is like very much in my realm. Like that's a lot of what I've done as a professional performer. And yeah, I guess I suggested that you take it.
Not my style.
Obviously.
Not my style.
Yeah, and you were like horrified, and then you asked why I never take hip hop classes or something, and I was like, oh, that's not really my style either. So then you proposed the idea that if I went and did a hip hop class with you, that you would come to my Pussycat Dolls class. And I was like, this sounds like a great deal, for me at least. So I remember coming to work the day that we said we were gonna do this. And I was kind of thinking in my head, like, oh, maybe she like forgot about it. Like maybe she wasn't serious. Maybe that was just a cute conversation that we had.
I did not forget.
No.
I packed a backpack full of basketball jerseys and high tops and sweatpants and like hats.
I remember getting there and you just being like, here's your outfit. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is happening. Okay. And yeah, you fully dressed me up. And I was so far in my comfort zone because I just don't feel like I'm very cool. And that's not where I shine at all. And yeah, it was a really funny class. So like we took the class together and yeah, I think at that point we were definitely getting like pretty comfortable, just kind of like poking fun at each other and like having a good time. And then afterwards you had to take my Pussycat.
It was right after.
Yeah,
right?
it was the same night. Yeah.
So thank goodness she didn't pack a bag full of clothes that
I
had to wear because...
Could you imagine? So that was fun. I remember making you stand in the front and just doing like a really sexy combination. So I feel like that was kind of like a big icebreaker for us.
It's so rare that it snows in Vancouver that when it does, the entire city basically shuts down.
Yeah.
I was biking to the studio every night and I said that it was too hard to bike home because of all the snow. Because I had a road bike and all these excuses. And I said, you know, where are you walking to? Maybe we can walk to the SkyTrain together.
Yeah. And I was going downtown. And I remember you explaining where you lived. And it didn't make sense at all for you to come with me.
Right.
But I remember thinking that it did. And I remember thinking, oh, well, if that's where you're going, why don't you, like, walk with me and take the train downtown? Even though it didn't make sense at all for you. It was, like, so far out of your way.
It did kind of make sense.
But it was, like, a roundabout way of getting there. Yeah. Right? And you were like, yeah, sure, that sounds great.
Yeah. 100% worth it, though.
Right. Yeah, I remember, like, walking in the snow with you, and I think that was the night where I really realized, like, oh, no, like, I actually really like this person. Like, I like her. Oh, no, what am I going to do? That night, I think, was where I realized my feelings that I didn't quite know were feelings yet.
One of the instructors at the studio had a show. So a bunch of the people at the studio were going to go to the show. And I thought, well, I'll invite Katie along. I kind of said it as like, everybody's going, even though...
Right.
Yeah, it was more of like, I want to go with you, but I'll invite these other people as
so
like
it's
a
like
buffer.
A group hang. Yeah.
The funny thing is, every single one of them, except for one, couldn't come. It was definitely like a date situation plus one.
Right. But even at that point, like, you didn't ask me out
no,
as if it was a date.
I was extremely
You were
vague.
very vague, and it was very much like a casual group hang. And I remember talking about it at the studio, and then I remember being like, what does she mean? Like, I had so many questions, and I remember, like, texting my friends about it and asking everyone's opinions and being like, I don't know what's going on. Is this a date? I don't, like, I need help. Like, tell me what to do. Is this a date? Is this just, like, a casual thing? I didn't know what to do. And I got mixed reviews. Everyone was like, obviously that's a date. Like, what are you talking about? Like, she asked you about it and gave you her phone number. And, like, of course, and then I had other people being like, I don't know. Like, it could really go either way. Right.
I'm either being really friendly or flirting. Take it how you wish.
Right. Right. And for me, I had never dated women before, and I was definitely at a point where I was, like, heavily questioning my sexuality and was very interested in the idea of women, but no woman had ever paid any attention to me because I appear and present so straight. I was obviously hopeful that that is what was happening, but didn't want to, like, get ahead of myself just in case, because that would have just been, like, kind of too good to be true, you know? I remember you gave me your phone number and it was like, text me about this, like, check your schedule, figure out if you can go or not, and then text me and we'll make a plan. And so I had your phone number, and I remember being like, I am too scared to go. Like, I'll make up an excuse because I can't go.
Here's the funny thing. We say we don't remember any of this, but, like, I
remember vividly.
I remember
so many
every single detail. I remember where I was at, like, during certain conversations.
Right.
I remember who I was with. Like, I remember grocery shopping with my mom.
And talking about
And
it.
talking and getting a text from you. Like, I remember
Right.
everything so vividly. So,
Right. Before I had your phone number, I had stalked you on Facebook. Like, heavily stalked.
yeah.
Because I didn't know anything about you and we had no contact outside of like real life at the studio. I remember going to the Facebook group
For
the studio
Yeah.
and searching through all the Stephanies, and there were several until I found you. This sounds really creepy, but I did do that. Until I found you, and then I friended you, and we had a mutual friend, which was also funny because we didn't know each other at
Right.
all or like anything about each other at that point, but we did have a mutual friend. And I friended you, and then we had some messages back and forth on Facebook.
Okay, no, you texted me the day before
The show?
the show.
Oh, I let it go for a while, apparently.
And we talked from maybe the early afternoon the day before until probably 4 a.m.
Yeah. And I texted you to be like, hey, yes, I can go. Let's whatever meet at this time. I don't remember what the actual plan was. We just had a back and forth, like, get to know each other conversation.
15 hours
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah. And it was just everything. Like, what do you do? Tell me about your family. Like, all the things. All of the get to know each other things that we hadn't yet, like, established or talked about. Because we'd only ever had these, like, short interactions that were really just sort of, like, on the surface. And, yeah. And then I think it definitely started crossing into, like, flirtatious territory.
Yeah.
Because we were just getting more personal with everything. What?
But my favorite is that Katie had a birthday coming up, and she was having people over, and so she invited me to this party.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, and feel free to bring your boyfriend ... or girlfriend."
That's a perfect way of asking.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Except I don't know why I said, "Oh, I don't have a boyfriend or a girlfriend."
You don't know why. You were being so sneaky.
I was being pretty sneaky. I wanted to just have her come out and say it and ask.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah, so you said that and I was just like, well, geez. And then I texted back and I think I said, okay, that was my way of asking, like, whether you date men or women. It was hard to navigate, and I remember, like, I had no experience with any of this. And I was in a place where I knew that I was interested in women. I knew I was attracted to women, but I didn't know any gay women. I didn't know anything about that world. I didn't know anything about, like, dating women. And I was so out of my element, and I didn't know how to, like, have it come across that I was interested. I didn't know. I had no idea what I was doing. But yeah, you said in a very, like, casual way that you dated both men and women, but you were into
women more so.
Right. I said I've only dated men.
I think you said that you had never been in a relationship with a woman, but you
right, but I had, like, dabbled in exploring.
Yeah.
Which was the truth.
You had explored.
Yeah, we stayed up till like 4 a.m. texting.
Yeah.
And it was very
By then it was clear.
It was very clear at that point what was going on, and that we were both very interested in one another.
And I got an invite to her birthday party.
And she got an official invite to my birthday party. I guess from there, we chatted all night. It was very clear that we were both really into each other, and then we went to the show the next day.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being like a group hang / date with a third person who didn't know it was a date.
We went to go sit in our seats.
Right, and she was second.
And I walked into the aisle first. The other girl was behind me, and then Katie was behind her. Mm-hmm. I had to figure something out. So I look at the seat numbers. My hockey number's 8. I look at the seat numbers, and I was about to sit in seat number 7. And I said, "Oh, I love the number 8. Can I sit in number 8 seat?" Like a child.
She was like, "Yeah, sure."
So she
like,
sits
I had no
in
idea what
7.
you're talking about.
I stood in 8, and you stood in 9.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, how did that work?
I remember that. That. Yeah. And then we watched the show together. I think maybe we, like, sneaky held hands.
Yeah. We did the old pinky finger graze.
Yeah. And then I think we went for lunch afterwards with, like, a group of people. Because you had a friend meeting you.
Yeah.
It was like a weird non-first date.
Yeah.
First date.
But I do remember texting my friend
That was coming to meet
during the lunch.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was so excited. She was like, oh my god, this is awesome.
Yeah, we're still friends with her.
Yeah.
She's been here since the beginning.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Hey, Mel. You came to my birthday party.
Yes, and it was basically her coming out party too.
It was my coming out party. And I think I said, like, I'd like to introduce you as my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And so we were girlfriends, and I, came out to all my friends that night, and that was it. But yeah, that's the story.
That's the story.
That's the story of how we met.
That's the story, and we actually remembered a lot more than we thought we would.
Yeah.
Quite vividly.
Yeah. We were like immediately in a relationship, immediately a couple. We moved in together 9 months later and got married 5 years later.
Yeah.
It's been 9 years now, and yeah.
Things are going well.
Things are going well. It all goes back to that dance class.
So if you're wondering whether or not to take that dance class, take the dance class.
Do it. Take the dance class. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. So long, farewell. Adieu, adieu, to ya, and ya, and ya.